How are you all doing? Hope you're doing good. Um, 3 days golfing. Uh, obviously, we did get our. There's no other way of putting it. Backsides handed to us by a stronger team, better team. Um, and I've said about that. I can't go into it in any more detail because it's still they're rubbing it in anyway. Anyway, so we learned a lot when we were away. Uh, And aimpoint, you've probably heard a lot of stuff about aimpoint, and obviously it's a smart program that takes in the contours of the greens and the slopes and the speed of them, and it maps out where the ball is in relationship to the hole, and it plots it knowing that the aim point for every putt is straight, but it points to the aim point. If you get the line correct and the speed correct on that aim point, the ball should go into the hole. That's putting. And your aim point could be like if the hole's here, your aim point could be over there, and eventually it'll track into the hole. That type of idea. So how do you use the sort of or train your mind to start using your golf swing as an aim point? Well, how I've done it is went up to the driving range, 100 balls. Our driving range is quite good because there's a red post and then there's like loads of other different posts, right? So initially what you do is you aim for the red post, okay? Or whatever target you're aiming at. And you warm up, hit 20 balls to it, right? Once you're warmed up, because that is basically your swing then, isn't it? So 20 minutes, 20 balls, whatever you take to warm up. Aim at that red post and start hitting your clubs through your bag, okay? So I started with wedges and I mapped out from there, aiming at the red post where the ball actually finished, okay? Now with me, because I slightly fade it, obviously was going to the right of the red post, okay? So you can imagine that if the red post was what I was going to imagine in my mind every time I won the tee, looking up the fairway, I wouldn't be aiming at the middle of the fairway. And if I was going for a green, I wouldn't be aiming for the middle of the green or at the pin. I'd be imagining, the red aim post. Paul was on about this, Paul Sutton. Right, so, but then you don't manipulate your swing. Key for this is you swing as if you're heading straight towards the red target on the range. So you work your way through the bag, wedge 9, 8, 7, and you map it on your card. I just wrote a card out. Okay. Now, when you're mapping this, map your distances as well. Right. So my wedge, 100 to 110 yards flat out. Right. Basically, and then I went 9 irons, and so on. Right. Now, when you get like down to the longer clubs, obviously the ball's going to move more, but you're still aiming at the red aim point, okay? In my case, it was the red post because I'm mapping out my distances and I'm mapping out how much the ball moves, right? So when I got to the driver, so I'm thinking, still doing the same thing. My balls maybe got, I'd say, it does. Like Paul says, you're hitting it straight at that red aim point, right? Off the tee, whatever shot. The ball does go straight at it, but then with my customary little drop fade, I would say, it's 20 yards of drop with a driver. 3-wood about the same. Funnily enough, my 3-wood and my driver, the drop, as in the pattern that it falls, is about 20 yards, 25 yards. If I hit a really bad one, 30 yards. Right, so that gives you quite a good room for it's no margin of error, it's just room for hitting targets, right? Because you can now, for want of a better word, you want to see a player who never hits a straight shot. It's Bubba Watson, isn't it? And he's done pretty good. He's won loads of things. Won the Masters. So, in reality, I think, like, you know, my head was like every shot's going to be straight. But when you actually look at all the players, very rarely do you see them hit a straight shot. Well, it's straight to a point, right? This is what we're talking about. Straight to the aim point. It's not straight for the target. It just falls to the target. You with me? Right. So have we been playing golf wrong all these years? Pretty much. Making it a lot harder than it actually is. Because what you're doing is, you've been aiming all these years at the wrong thing. So you need to, like Paul says, retrain the brain to aim at the correct thing. Nowhere near the target, right? Nowhere near the fairway, nowhere near the green. You're aiming somewhere to make the ball end at the target. I'm going to concentrate and talk about this more. I'm going to do it on the golf course. But if you watch this first, this is like what we've done to get to this point, to go on the golf course. Because today I had another belter round my home course. Probably cut my handicap again. I don't know. With this new handicap system, it's hard to work out. But I checked my last 20 scores. And like, you know how you top 8? So every round is like 71, 72, 72, 72, 73, 73, 72, 71, 73. It's ridiculous. I'm every time I go out and I medal, I'm this type of player. Always have been, right? I really struggle to play bounce games. In fact, I hardly ever play bounce games. The type of player who just likes a card in their hand and physically trying to shoot a score that counts for something, not like a bounce game. It just does nothing for me. If I'm out playing a bounce game, I'll like maybe hit 3 drives off a hole or 3 short shots onto a hole or have 4 or 5 putts. It's not the same for me as playing competition golf. I know there's some of you out there that probably hate competition golf and like bounce games, but I can't handle bounce games. Must be the way, I don't know, the way I think about things, the way I want to play. I don't know. But anyway, get back to me. Comment below what you think. Bounce games or competition golf. I much prefer competition golf. And I think meeting new people and talking to them around the golf course and getting to know them in competition is more rewarding than bounce games. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. But anyway, I'm keeping it under 10 minutes for this because I've just given you the key to this. The key is what I've just said. Watch it back and do it, map it out, then take it to the course. And I think you'll be amazed with the results. Not only will you know where to aim, but you'll know your distances as well. So you're doing 2 for the price of 1. And it's all thanks to Paul Sutton. Thanks for watching.